Hey friend, Brandon here. Amongst all the Huawei drama, the new phones coming out, and Apple's WWDC, you may or may not have missed some really bad news for Google. It looks like the United States Justice Department is preparing an antitrust investigation against Alphabet or Google. Let's talk about it because this is Tech Today. If you haven't already, please share, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified of when I post a new video. I'd really appreciate it. First, there may be some of you that don't know what an antitrust investigation is, and I don't want to assume that you know, so here's what it means. According to Investopedia, antitrust laws are regulations that monitor the distribution of economic power in business, making sure that healthy competition is allowed to flourish and economies can grow. Antitrust laws apply to nearly all industries and sectors, touching every level of business, including manufacturing, transportation, distribution, and marketing. Antitrust laws prohibit a number of business practices that restrain trade. Examples of illegal practices are price fixing, conspiracies, corporate mergers that are likely to cut back the competitive fervor of certain markets, and predatory acts designed to gain or hold on to monopoly power. Essentially, antitrust laws or competition law exist to make sure that there's a fair competition between businesses, which ideally allows both you and me, the consumer, the opportunity to have better products, lower prices, a variety of options, and greater innovation. In a way, we saw that happening with the Samsung Galaxy Fold as Samsung was trying to get to the market before the Huawei Mate X. Of course, in that particular case, it didn't really work out for anyone. Antitrust law is also there to help address concerns about things like Sprint and T-Mobile merging and why it may be necessary for a fourth carrier to merge, which in that case may be Amazon. For those of you who are familiar with it, Bell System was broken up into various companies like that of AT&T, which some may have remembered as Singular Wireless, and then there's Verizon, Frontier Communications, Lucent Technologies, CenturyLink, and so much more. Dang, reading a small fraction of the companies that came out of Bell really does show how much of a monopoly they were and why it was really good to break them up. So why is Google possibly being investigated by the Justice Department for antitrust? Well, in many ways, you could say that the United States has been quite lax in regards to keeping tabs or having a notable concern for Google's practices, at least compared to the European Commission. The last time Google was being looked at in the United States was in 2013 by the FTC when they investigated Google's search business to determine whether or not Google's search feature created a form of search bias. This was resolved as Google voluntarily made adjustments to their search business to align with the concerns and requirements by the FTC, but that may be reopened in a way by the Justice Department. On the other side of the world, Google has faced antitrust investigations and fines from Europe for various aspects of their business. They were fined $2.7 billion for Google shopping results, which prioritized its own shopping service over other companies. And then they were fined $5 billion for Android because it pre-installed Chrome and Google Play services, the Play Store, and how it promoted their own search service and products like Gmail over others, which they believe further cemented their dominance. Instead of pre-installing that software for free on an Android device, OEMs or manufacturers will likely have to pay for it, which will likely end up costing the consumer more. I kind of feel like this one backfired. I don't know, what do you think? And then they're fined $1.69 billion for their AdSense business because they believe that Google's search platform forces businesses to use AdSense instead of competing ad companies on Google's search platform. So needless to say, Europe is coming down hard on tech companies and really hard on Google. And that's despite it not being a classic case of clear antitrust like Bell Systems. In the United States, Google has avoided a lot of the drama that other companies like Facebook faced because of things like the Russian meddling in the 2016 United States election. This is largely to do with their focus and success on search and other products rather than social media. I mean, they tried to do that whole Google Plus thing, but yeah. RIP Google+. For this investigation at the time of filming, there isn't a comprehensive understanding of what this investigation may entail as it's still being put together. But what is rumored is that the investigation will look into Alphabet or Google's business practices as it relates to its search dominance, advertising, and other businesses. This sounds a lot like what the European Commission looked into. Much of this seems to echo a lot of politicians' concerns over the growth, dominance, control, and influence tech giants have. The most outspoken one of late is the 2020 presidential candidate and Democrat Elizabeth Warren. And in December, CEO Sundar Pichai went to Congress answering their concerns regarding Google's efforts under Project Dragonfly, which was a project put in place to work with the Chinese government to provide their search service over there, but with censorship. As you can imagine, many people were not happy about that, externally and internally, so that project was supposedly canceled. hopefully. So there's just been a lot of things kind of bubbling up to this moment if you kind of look at the context of everything. So the question will be what happens next, what the Justice Department is specifically looking at, what they're looking for, and what they find. Once that happens, it may have an impact on the Google that we know and use today as consumers. The real question is, for us at least, if Google has to change to break up in some form or provide multiple search options or app stores, how do you feel about this as the consumer? After all, this is to protect you as the consumer. Do you feel like big companies like Amazon, Facebook, and specifically for this video, Google is something that is out of hand? Do you feel like things could be better, or do you feel like this would make things worse? What do you think this means for other large tech companies like Amazon and Facebook? I'd love to know your thoughts on what you think may happen and how it may affect you, so leave a comment below and join the This Is Tech Today community Discord chat. We'd love to have you. Thank you for watching This Is Tech Today, where we talk about the intersection of technology in our everyday lives, in business, and in all things creative. Until next time.